Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is the 24th of October, 2018. The title of this program is Global Liberation. If you want to wonder why the title right now might be Global Liberation, we want to talk a little bit about our mission. We was talking just the other night about how serious this movement is, and that this movement is not only a grand quest for global liberation and a movement to establish a society where human beings can reach their full attention, where human beings can become those things that Allah has given them the ability to become, in an environment that does not hinder that progress but enhances that progress, that type of society that allows the human being to reach their full potential, as long as that potential and that progress and that goal setting and that vision of a future does not harm other people. There's a thing about trying to go to a good place in life. The greatest goal is one that has a good destination, but also it does not harm other people. In fact, if you're going to a good place, you might even hope that others may join you, and all of you arrive at a much better place of being. So our mission sometime is to explain history and the present political and social state that we're in, because there's a lot of state violence that's going on right now. There's personal violence in a society, but there's an overwhelming amount of state violence against citizens. That means systematic government violence against people is the same as a dictatorship. This violence is to produce fear in the public mind. Remember, there was an old story about the old sheikh that was on his way to Baghdad, and he met pestilence on the way. Pestilence is sickness and disease and what have you. And the old sheikh felt really kind of strange. He says, "Where goest thou, pestilence?" He said, "I'm going to the city to take 5,000 lives." By the time the old man the old sheikh reached the city, which is said to be Baghdad, he found that 50,000 people had died. So, on the way back, he met pestilence again. He said, "Oh, pestilence, you lied to me. You said you were going to the city to take 5,000 lives. And when I arrived, I found that 50,000 people had died." Pestilence said, "I, pestilence, took 5,000 lives. Fear killed the rest." Let me say that again. "I, pestilence, took 5,000 lives. Fear killed the other 45,000. What does that mean? That means that fear is 10 times as bad as pestilence. This is what a bad government or an evil government does, is it produces an environment of fear, and the people where the people don't feel like moving forward or producing a better society because of that fear displaced in them by the system or by the establishment. So it can produce isolation. It also can produce apathy. It can make people apathetic and listless. They don't feel like making a contribution to society anymore. They feel like maybe humanity is trapped in the endless cycle of fear and depravity. So what we've been doing is we've been producing a kind of like a study guide that helps releases the fear in the population. In other words, we always call it a paradigm shift. That means a paradigm is when you're changing the standard of measurement, because a paradigm is like a road map. It shows you where everything is in the city. And a paradigm shift is when you move to another measuring stick, another way of judging what success and what failure is. So a paradigm shift usually happens when there's a great transformation in the minds and in the hearts of the people. One of the things that helps a paradigm shift is positive expectation. That means that when you expect good to happen in your environment, you expect good to happen in your own life. You're looking for an optimistic and a hopeful outcome in life. And when you see oppression come up, you have a disdain and a hatred for this oppression, and you have audacity to want to change it. Now, this audacity is because of the overwhelming power of the state. We have to remember that people don't have usually the ability to fight state. Usually another state can fight a state. An individual is just not made to fight a state. Not even an organization. Usually organizations fight organizations, and like individuals in combat, they fight other individuals. Because the state has so much power and so much ability. Now, it comes at a certain time that when an organization gets so well organized and they're able to leverage the environmental circumstances, that they can place themselves in the right position, and they can put the whole weight of this earth out here and just the right amount of weight way back here that can lift that whole environmental circumstances. This is one of our hopes, because we're not unknowing about what we're trying to do. We talked about it the other night as being Don Quixotic. Do y'all remember Don Quixote in history? The guy that fighting windmills.
Fighting windmills, calling them giants and stuff.
What was that song that they like? Anyway, it's a very optimistic song. So, when we talk about global resistance and the global Islamic movement or global resistance movement for the first quarter of the 21st century, technically we're talking about us. Now, it's so simple, the things that we all watch the news. Our experience has taught us so much about how the system works in detail that is unbelievable. So when we watch the news, like if we watch the news and they say there are 7,000 people coming from Honduras and Guatemala and they're coming up to the United States and they're gonna invade the border, on and on and on. That's to produce fear in the American white people. First of all, there's a browning of America, a browning and blackening of America already anyway. So these white people, if they're not understanding, they're gonna become fearful. Although if they let all of those people in, it wouldn't hurt the economy at all. Why? Because they're gonna do the work that nobody else is gonna do. You know, there's no Negro, if you notice around here, there ain't no Negroes out, even down at, all the Latinos at Home Depot and them other places, they hang out there for work.
No black people.
I might have caught 2, 3 niggas one time. I don't know what they might have been there just smoking dope or something.
That's an interesting observation because the Latinos are on the Home Depot side.
Right.
And the Negro is on the 7-Eleven side,
Yeah.
begging, not trying to work.
You talking about down here? Yes, of course.
You know,
Unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Okay, so I don't want to get into the California growers and the cranberry growers all the way up to Canada, almost all the way up there in Michigan. These people need people to pick those things. And it ain't gonna be no Negroes going up there to pick them. And what it do is, the Latinos that have been here a long time, when the other ones come in fresh, that give them a chance to move up to the supervisory level. Why? Because I was listening to it on the radio, one white businessman said, no, it don't hurt nothing. He said, those people help some economist from Yale or somewhere. He said, no, that allows the ones that are already here, they're bilingual now, so they move up to a supervisory position. And says those people that come here and say, you know, they're gonna have to eat, so they're gonna have to produce food for them. Eventually, they're gonna have to find a place to stay. They're gonna be rented. They help the economy, is what they would say. He says, plus the low birth rate in the U.S. anyway, you gotta have people coming in. But anyway, if we was to watch that news, we would never think that, who organized that march down there? Who wanted it on the news at that time? Donald Trump said it might be some Middle Easterners in there. Do you know he could have some Middle Easterners on the way and they could join? The Middle Easterners could join. Then he could say, see, I told y'all. That could be them making the news, arranging the news. Do they do that? They do it all the time.
Social engineering.
They do it all the time. We don't know who organized that demonstration down there. The CIA could have done it. The CIA runs those countries. The people have to leave because American companies take all the money down there and ruin the economy, and the people have to come up here. That's how the people got here from El Salvador. Remember in the 80s, they had Rio Smart and all of these, they killed them 4 nuns and all that stuff. That was Salvador. What they said, they have a leftist insurrection, so we gotta have them all killed. Pacification is like Vietnam. Pacification means you kill everybody to make them all right. We kill them all. We bomb Yemen into democracy. The point I'm making is, we learn so much about the media, and and how it's all arranged. Remember all of the demonstrations we had with Answer and all of those people? If you look, they're making their commentators. Right now, I was just listening on the radio, RT on the radio, 105 point something or other. There's RT on the radio. And I could hear the voice. It's Brian Becker, his brother out in San Francisco. They're experts. They had a radio station over there on Martin Luther King called UACT Radio. They invited me 2 days after I came back from Iran. And I gave a pretty good interview. I had brand new Tehran Times. They asked me a lot of questions. And I hit them right on point. Then they said, well, let me play some analysis. And it was Brian Becker. And he asked me, well, what do you think about his analysis? I said, it's a nice CBS, ABC analysis. I said, but see, you're right here on Martin Luther King, and you're getting it right from the horse's mouth that just got back from the real horse. So their analysis, same thing as the Shia brothers were saying about Medea Benjamin. Because they be inviting all of these people, right? As though because she wrote a little book on Saudi Arabia, like it's important. Because they believe they got this sawdust in their head. They believe that we want to reach out to white people and bring them our way. Well, they forget 35, 40 years ago, Robin Wright and all of these people that they were. All Robin Wright and them, they